I always believed I was on the right path. Not perfect, far from it, but sincere. I believed in God. I went to church almost every Sunday. I read the Bible, sometimes daily. I prayed before meals, before bed, when I was scared or thankful. I tried to be kind. I volunteered. I tithed. I even led a small prayer group once a week. I thought that was enough. I thought I was the kind of person God would welcome home. But what happened on a cold Tuesday afternoon in February 2019 changed everything I thought I understood about faith, salvation, and the condition of the human soul. What I experienced in that brief moment between life and death shook me to my core. It showed me that I had been wrong, not about God's love, but about my own heart. And more terrifying, it showed me that millions of others were walking the same path I was, confident in their salvation, and heading straight toward destruction. It was an ordinary day. I had just left a tense meeting at work. I felt exhausted, irritable. I remember playing back a conversation with a coworker over and over in my head, thinking of all the things I should have said. My heart was racing. I blamed the stress, the lack of sleep. I stopped by a drugstore to pick up some pain relievers. The line was long. A woman in front of me was fumbling with coupons, and I felt a surge of impatience rise in my chest. Then, it happened. My vision narrowed. My legs gave out. I heard someone yell, "She's fainting!" And then, blackness. But not the kind you get when you close your eyes. This was deeper, heavier, alive. I couldn't feel my body, couldn't move, couldn't speak. But I was aware of a silence so total it made me tremble. I couldn't tell if I was floating or sinking. There was no up or down, no time, no space, just me, and the weight of something eternal pressing against my soul. And then I heard it. A voice. Not through my ears, but inside me, in the marrow of who I was. It was calm, gentle, but filled with an authority that made my soul stand still. You believed you were safe. You lived with confidence. But there is one sin that many never confront, and it is destroying more souls than any other. You carried it, and you never saw it. I tried to speak, to ask what it meant, but no words came, only a deep, aching fear. Suddenly, the darkness peeled back, like curtains being drawn, and I saw. I stood on the edge of a vast wasteland, burning, broken, blackened. The sky above was blood red, streaked with ash. The air was thick and smelled of sulfur, but the worst part was the sound. Wailing, screaming, begging, voices, countless voices, some whispering, some shrieking, some praying in a language I didn't understand. It was like every sound of regret ever uttered had been gathered into this place and amplified. And then I saw faces, familiar ones, people I had gone to church with, people who had sung in choirs, led Bible studies, preached from pulpits, people who, like me, had believed they were good enough, their faces twisted in grief, not just from pain, but from the unbearable realization that they had missed the truth, that they had lived a lie they didn't even know was a lie. I stepped forward, trembling. I couldn't feel the ground beneath me, but I moved somehow, drawn by the sorrow in their eyes. "Why are they here?" I cried out in my soul. They believed, they served, they prayed. The voice answered, not with anger, but with sorrow. They honored me with their lips, but their hearts were far from me. I was shown glimpses, flashes of their lives. A man who led worship every Sunday, but judged the poor silently in his heart. A woman who preached forgiveness, but refused to let go of the bitterness she held toward her sister for 20 years. A pastor who delivered sermons on humility, but relished in the attention, the admiration, the applause. And then, the worst part. I was shown my own life, my own thoughts. Moments I had forgotten or ignored. The way I had looked at a single mother and thought, she should try harder. The pride I felt when people complimented my faithfulness. The way I helped others, but only when it was convenient and only if I got credit. The times I smiled and nodded during prayer, but inside I was thinking about lunch. The silent joy I felt when I thought, at least I'm not like them. It hit me like a flood. This wasn't about some big sin I had committed. It wasn't murder or theft or lying. It was pride. That one, quiet, invisible sin. The one I never confessed because I didn't think I had it. But it was there, all along. And suddenly, I understood the voice's warning. Pride is the one sin that sends millions to hell every hour. Because pride doesn't shout, it whispers. It hides behind good deeds. It cloaks itself in religion. It says, you're doing enough. You're better than them. You don't need to change. It convinces you that performance is the same as transformation. That being seen as good is the same as being good. That checking spiritual boxes is the same as surrendering your soul. The voice spoke again. You judged others for their sins, but ignored the sickness in your own heart. You trusted your image, not your transformation. You served me, but you never surrendered to me. I fell to my knees, or at least I tried to. I felt as if I was collapsing inward, breaking, being unmade. Is there hope for me? I asked, barely able to hold the thought together. Am I lost? There was silence. Then, warmth. A light. Soft. Gentle. Golden. And out of it I saw people. People I didn't recognize. Simple people. Not famous. Not powerful. Some were old. Some were children. Some looked poor. Some looked broken. But they glowed, not with pride, but with peace. The voice spoke one last time. These are the ones who humbled themselves, who lived honestly, who forgave others, who repented not once, but daily, who loved even when it cost them. They were not perfect, but they were sincere, and they never thought they were better than anyone. They didn't seek to look righteous. They sought to be changed. Then, I was back, lying in a hospital bed, a nurse beside me, monitors beeping, a doctor explaining that my heart had stopped for almost 2 minutes. They said it was a medical event, a freak arrhythmia. I should be fine, but I was not fine. I would never be the same. Since that day, I've lived differently. I still go to church. I still read the Bible. I still pray. But I no longer do those things to earn something or to feel like I'm doing enough. I do them because I want to stay close to God, because I want to see my pride before it grows, because I want to live sincerely, not just convincingly. Every day I ask myself, am I judging anyone? Am I forgiving everyone? Am I helping others quietly or waiting to be noticed? Am I listening to God or just performing for Him? And now I ask you, with all the sincerity I have, is there pride hiding in your heart? Because it's the one sin we almost never confess, but it's the one that costs us everything. Please don't assume you're safe just because you look faithful. Search deeper. Ask God to reveal what you've been ignoring. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and if this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Sometimes the truth that saves us is the truth that hurts the most.